What's going on, guys? I just finished a great podcast with Brandon Curry, our current Mr. Olympia. I am trying to level up the podcast in many different ways, and one of them is tech. And as you guys will see, I'm better at bodybuilding than I am at tech. And one of the reasons is you're going to see in the podcast that the facial recognition feature was on the new camera I got, and I didn't realize it. So it's going to be on throughout the podcast. So I hope it doesn't annoy you guys too much. It's a good podcast. Otherwise, if it does annoy you, just listen to the audio version, I guess. And I hope you enjoy. And thanks a lot for the support, guys. What's going on, everybody? We're back with the Real Bodybuilding Podcast, episode number 55, and I am here with Mr. Olympia. How are you, Brandon?
You know, I'm swell today. Swell.
Yeah? You haven't been on. I haven't had you on. The last time you were on the show was, I think you were you were 4 weeks out from the Olympia? No, you were quite a bit out from the Olympia the last time you were on.
Yeah, I remember it was leading up to the Olympia. That's all I remember.
Yeah, I remember saying, I think you're going to win. And then you won.
Right.
And then you were supposed to come on after the show, and then you just got way too busy. So now, So now we're catching up.
Yeah, definitely catching up because that was a whirlwind. We got a lot to catch up. It seems like
I want to ask you off the bat is one of my questions. That's kind of been, I've never had anyone that I knew well that was Mr. Olympia. You know, I mean, it's always been such a far. Like I didn't know Jay that well. I didn't know. Me and you actually worked together at SciTech, and we had a friendly relationship. So I always wanted to ask somebody just straight up, what's it like being Mr. Olympia? Like, what is it like from one bodybuilder to another? Like, what happened after you became Mr. Olympia?
It just magnifies literally pretty much everything from how many people want to see you, parents-wise, you know, how many people are in your inboxes, messaging you about this and that. Mm-hmm. How much criticism you get, like everything's magnified. Even how much praise you get, it's all magnified. So it's just, it's just like winning a normal show when you have that, that week, that couple of days after, everybody's just on your. But it just lasts longer. Yeah. You know, it's just a longer fanfare, festivities, a lot of energy, a lot of people just. It's like. It's like being recognized all over again.
What? Yeah, well, that's true. You kind of like became everybody's like favorite all of a sudden. What's it like walking around though in your own head though? Like not talking about DMs, not talking about contracts or guest postings, or like just going to the grocery store and knowing you're the best bodybuilder in the world. What's that? What is there a difference?
I'm bad about it, man. I'm bad about that awareness. Like.
What do you mean?
I'm terrible about thinking about, I'm Mr. Olympia. I have people around me, fortunately, that remind me or remind people for me. Yeah. Let's say if I'm in an incident, I'm trying to explain who I am, and I have a hard time like explaining who I am, and then I have, he's Mr. Olympia, and it's just like, okay, So I don't really going around thinking, I'm Mr. Olympia. It's just.
So it's not, do you forget sometimes? Like when you're at the gym training, do you forget like I'm the best bodybuilder in the world? Is it like in your head or is it not?
It's not constantly in my head. It's not something I constantly think about. No, it's like, it has to be something to put it in perspective. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right. Okay. Here's a question for you. So when you're training and let's say you're in a busy gym, I mean, you probably haven't been in a busy gym lately because of COVID, but let's say you're in a busy gym and you're training. Do you feel like you have to train harder or with more weight or anything if people are watching because you're Mr. Olympia, or is that not present?
I don't feel that pressure either. I probably feel the same pressure of trying to make sure I execute everything properly. Like I'm not kind of being an example of the wrong things they do in the gym.
I see.
So I probably focus on that more than anything, but that's always been probably my focus as I've progressed in bodybuilding. When I was younger, of course, it was to be lifting the most. Of course. Yeah. Be the strongest and, maybe have the most intense sets. But now it's more or less, okay, this is what you should be doing.
Mm.
This is how you should be focusing.
What's it like? What was it? Did the pressure get to you at all after winning? Because obviously your life probably got a lot busier. Like you probably a lot more doors open up, a lot more opportunities. Have you been able to handle the pressure? I know your wife helps you with a lot of that, but have you been able to handle the pressure well? Or is it something that gets to you some days and you're like, I kind of wish I was like just Brandon Curry again, where I could train and not worry about any of this stuff? Or are do you welcome all the extra things that are coming with it?
I kind of welcome it. I think the ability to kind of compartmentalize things in my mind and not always feel like I'm Mr. Olympia kind of helps with any certain pressures I feel. It's just a matter of, okay, am I doing enough? Am I representing the sport well enough?
Yeah.
And that's always in context to like maybe an event, something bodybuilding oriented that I'm planning for, that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
In my daily life, maybe I don't really put bodybuilding into it that much as far as the pressures. Yeah. But when it comes to like, something coming up or something I have to do bodybuilding oriented, mm-hmm. it's a little bit more pressure to think, okay, yeah, I'm representing the sport. My wife probably reminds me the most, like, okay, we have to, think about it like this, or you need to make sure, you're looking at it this way, or these people they needing this from you and that from you. So she kind of helps me kind of zone that stuff in from the outside view.
Yeah.
Because, I'm too much of a regular, normal guy to really just put all this together in my head all the time and just be constantly in this facade of who Mr. Olympia is supposed to be.
But
so she kind of puts me in perspective.
That's kind of the part I was getting to, though, because my life has changed a lot with starting the supplement company and doing the podcast now and like all these things. And obviously I'm not comparing to the amount of stuff you have going on, but I'm just saying there are days where I'm like, you know what, I kind of miss being just Fouad the bodybuilder and just training and going to just getting on stage and not having anybody worry or watch or anything like that. So that's kind of what I'm wondering is there days where you're like, I wish I could just kind of turn it all off for a day and just.
Man, I'm in too deep. And I haven't felt the normalcy of, nobody watching, nobody criticizing me. I haven't felt that in forever.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's been a part of my life for a long time now. I don't even know when I haven't felt all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so just being Mr. Olympia, it's no real difference in that aspect. Mm-hmm. I'm still the bodybuilder trying to prove himself as always, it seems.
When you won the show before COVID and all that, I noticed you were doing a lot of things that people wanted Mr. Olympia to do. You're speaking at high schools, and I saw you speaking to football teams, and I saw you doing a lot of different things that people want their Mr. Olympia to do that were very positive. But you're also Mr. Olympia in a time of COVID, and now you can't travel and all these things. So do you feel like it's kind of put a damper on what you really wanted to set out to do because you can't do all these things that you were doing before?
A big damper. My whole 220 schedule was demolished.
Yeah.
And it was very, very busy.
Mm-hmm.
So it just put a big halt on my ability to go around and kind of just, be in the presence of fans, be in the presence of the community, and just really, really just show my worth to the sport. Mm-hmm. Kind of really got in the way of that a lot. But I've tried to sneak out. I've got a chance to go to the Tampa Pro last week.
Yeah.
And that was good to be around the bodybuilding community, be around and trying to kind of get the feel of the energy from the sport again and kind of seeing things go back to somewhat normal.
Yeah.
It's very, very encouraging. I feel like I needed to be there. Mm-hmm. It's something I feel like I needed to do. So I made the opportunity to do that. And it was great. It was great being there, seeing history being made, mm-hmm. Seeing Hunter on stage, having Lee, Labrada behind me screaming for Hunter, thinking what's going on in his head. It's like, it was just nuts. So it was a good time to get out. And, I'm glad I did it in these times, these interesting times.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have a real impact when you go to those, like when you're talking to a football team or you're talking to a high school, or do you feel like you're having a real impact on not only the kids that are listening, but do you feel like you're really putting a good face on bodybuilding? Because I feel like bodybuilding needs somebody like you out there and really like to give us a good look, a good face, a good, you know, good representative. So do you feel like you were doing that? Do you feel like you were actually giving that back?
Yeah, I actually do. I get a lot of good feedback from the community when it comes to those kind of things. So a lot of people, you know, a lot of people just hear about the things that I've done in the community. I ran into a particular person. They didn't know who I was, but when they heard my name, they knew who I was. And they're like, oh yeah, I heard a lot of good things about you. So it's been getting around as far as, you know, me doing these community activities about, you know, the type of person I am. And, you know, it's just a lot of good feedback. I actually went to a birthday party yesterday of the teacher that invited me out to the school to speak. Yeah. So he was just kind of giving me feedback on, you know, the things that go down and how I impacted this student after I left and this and this and that. So I can kind of get some of the inside intel, like what's going on after the fact.
So wait a minute. Let me ask you, how does that happen? So is this a teacher at one of your son's schools or one of your children?
No, it's a teacher at my old high school. He didn't teach me. Yeah. He wasn't there when I was there. Yeah. But he invited me.
So he just emailed you. He's like, "Can you come to my birthday party and speak?"
Well, his wife actually hit me up for his birthday party to surprise him. So
that's pretty awesome.
I was like, cool. I'll go out and eat some wings and stuff with you guys and hang out. Yeah. So it was pretty cool. But it's good catching up.
You know, I think of that kind of stuff, and you know, I've talked a lot about anxiety on the podcast and how I dealt with it a lot in my 20s mostly. But is that nerve-wracking? Is it like, you know, going to somebody's house, like, you know, you don't really know the guy. You're like, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to speak. And do you have a speech prepared, or do you kind of like wing it, or like, how does that work when you go there?
Everything's better when it's natural. So I don't suffer from nerves at all. I'm not one of those people that suffer from nerves. I kind of go in just expecting, just, you know, not expecting anything, just kind of reacting to the situation as it comes. And it's just cool. Like this teacher, man, he's such a fan of bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. He changed his shirt maybe like 3 times, so he had 3 different Brandon Curry shirts on, and during dinner. So, and his friends were like, "Oh, so you know, so you're the guy, huh? You're the guy." So
did you give like a formal speech, or was it like a toast, or like?
No. I just showed up and just hung out. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't anything official. I just told him I'd come hang out for his birthday and enjoy some food with him and stuff. So we just kind of met him and his friends and just hung out.
That's pretty awesome, man. That's pretty awesome. I wonder what kind of impact that has on everybody there. And then the funny thing is, the thing I like about that is, I always think about the people that don't know anything about bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. And they have their preconceived notions, and, you know, they think that we're a certain way and we act a certain way, and then they meet you and they meet somebody like you. And I feel like it could change their entire perception of the sport.
It was a lot of regular people. You know, it was a professional golfer who taught golf lessons there, and he was just ragging on me a lot. You know, first came in, he's like, "Man, you need some antihistamines. You know, you're all, you know, swollen like a bee." So he was but I related to him really well. We had a good time. And then there was even a pastor friend there that I was talking to as well. So there's a lot of different people there, people in the teaching community, people that, you know, they were talking about all the, you know, the new, you know, kids not being able to go to school, the, you know, being online, and some kids being able to go to school. And of course they teach in different districts. So they would kind of let me know, filling me in on what they're dealing with in the community right now. So it was just interesting to kind of relate to, you know, just regular people outside of the sport. Yeah. And then just being there for somebody that is known for being a great teacher in the community, and being able to, you know, being a bodybuilding fan, you know, so I could just relate to normal people and, you know, appreciate, you know, one of our teachers.
You have 4 kids, right?
Yes.
What's it? And they haven't been able to go to school. Are you homeschooling them?
Actually, their first day of school was today.
Okay. But how long have they been home though?
They've been home for 5 months.
And how crazy has that been? Is this something you enjoyed because you don't get to see them much? Like last year, you didn't see them a lot, or is it something where you're like?
No, it's definitely something I enjoy, but you know, of course, that wears on mom. You know, having to deal with the kids for that long. It wasn't that bad, but you know, it's like kids are kids.
Yeah, of course.
And they need to do things, and they went to school. Their schools, they go to a little private school, so it's not a lot of students. Yeah, and it's, you know, they're not really super strict on everything, but you know, you go to school at your own risk, you know, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And if you want to be exposed, you don't have to go to school there, or you can do something else, or web only. But if, you know, you're not afraid to be around people, you know, you can go. So we don't want to, you know, over shelter the kids and just take that experience of being able to socialize out of fear. So they all went to school today for the first day.
So it's been nice for you being home, because last year you were gone to Kuwait for so long.
Right.
What kind of stuff did you do with the kids? Is it mostly like physical activities, or are you just working with them, or like what kind of stuff do you do with them every day for 5 months?
Well, you know, most of it is just, you know, my kids are really in the game and I'm not much in the game.
Yeah.
So most of it is them running around, doing practices, trying to do conditioning.
Yeah.
You know, I did bring Maximus to Florida recently when I went to Florida for the Tampa.
Yeah.
And, you know, we rented a Corvette. And
I saw that. I saw you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my wife's idea. She's like, yeah, he'll love this. So we went around the top down and stuff for a while. And then we went to jet skiing and stuff. So it was pretty cool, you know, just to do that. But, you know, of course, things have been limited for the most part.
Yeah.
When they've, you know, everything's been kind of, you know, shut down. We wanted to go to a family vacation, but it's kind of one of those things you don't really know.
Yeah.
You know, if she should take that trip. So as I've been getting out a little bit, I've been seeing that it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, okay to get out, but yeah. So I took him out. He enjoyed it. He enjoyed being around the community and learning and kind of seeing the things.
Which son?
He was like, Dad.
Which son was it?
It's Maximus, my oldest boy.
Is it? I just want to show everybody. Sorry, I can't see what I'm doing here. It's some technical difficulty. Okay. Is this your son you're talking about? Is this the son? No,
that's Marvelous.
Okay. We'll go back to Maximus in a minute, but this physique's crazy. How old is he?
That's the middle son. He's 8.
This kid's 8 years old.
And yeah, my wife said he's 7 in this picture, though. In these pictures.
This is nuts, man. He's got dad's genetics. Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's my responder to like training. Like, so this is like probably a month or so, or after I got him some weights at home, like some dumbbells and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he was really into, you know, really training every day.
Yeah.
And he just develops. He gets a pump. He likes it. And this son, he was born bigger, more muscular, but he's not as much into the training as my other son is.
Which son is the football player?
Yeah, well, both of them play football, but the Maximus is probably the one everybody knows.
Is this the one? Is Maximus the one in these videos?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that him there, 42?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, he's
an animal.
He loves the game.
That's great, man.
Football is his sport, so yeah, he's definitely.
So you took him to Florida with you. You guys did some jet skiing.
Yeah, man, that was kind of scary. Because my first time on a jet ski, and I'm responsible for another life with me. And, you know, you get to go real fast, and that water doesn't feel like water anymore. It feels like freaking cement. I could imagine flying off. And I'm like,
Did you guys fall at all, or are you good?
No. We stayed on, man. I didn't think I got up. The fastest I went was like, 71 kilometers, I think it said on the.
That's fast on the water, though, man.
Yeah.
That's fast.
It was fast on the water, so.
That's pretty awesome. So I want to ask you about your training. So, like I said, last year you were gone to Kuwait forever, training all year long, and you know, leading up to the Olympia. This year you've been home all year, pretty much, right? Mm-hmm. How's that going to affect? Is that going to affect you in December?
Well, I don't really think so, because last year was more like a 2-show year. And
because Arnold's,
and you know, coming into the Olympia last year because of the first little show. So I'm just so much fresher right now.
Yeah.
I think I'll come in as far as conditioning and responsiveness to the Olympia this year will be a lot better than last year.
Okay.
Just because I'm not as beat up.
Did you put it on any size this year, or you feel like you have the same package but maybe more detail? Like, what are we looking at? What are we expecting?
Yeah, we're not trying to really change the game as far as putting on any extra super mass. We're just trying to bring this package in as clean as crisp as possible, something that we didn't really get to capitalize on much last year.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring everything in a lot tighter this year. Okay. So it's the game plan is hopefully I'll be out of here in a week. Hopefully.
To go where?
So,
back to Kuwait?
Well, we're in Kuwait. We got 2 options. We're going to go Kuwait if we can't get the verification visa stuff straightened out there, which looks like we will be. We'll go to another location which has a oxygen gym, so that we can get into. So so that's the plan. Me and my coach, and we'll be there with me and my coach. My coach, I think he plans to come back with me to the U.S. for a little bit when we open up the grand opening. You'll be at, I guess.
Yeah.
I heard.
I'm supposed to be. We're gonna see.
Yeah.
But so let me get this timeline straight. So when do you leave for Kuwait or wherever the location is? If it's not
hopefully next week.
Next week, and then you come back because I think your grand opening is September 19th.
Yeah, so I'll be going technically about a month.
Okay, and then after the grand opening, do you go back to the Middle East?
Yeah, I'll go back.
And then you don't come back again until the Olympia.
Yeah, that's pretty much the plan.
Okay. So is that tough for you the month going there and then coming back? Not a big deal, right?
No. That's not a big deal. It's actually like, it's always good to kind of have a mental break. Yeah. And then get around in the fanfare again, and then go back and be more motivated to kind of kill it some more. So it'll be a good break if we come back. Plus, it's exciting for me. Yeah. To be able to come into the gym and open it. So
you got a lot of friends there you miss in the Middle East?
Yeah, actually, the community there. Yeah. It's like some of the guys that hit me up, man, root me on for this year. Yeah. But they haven't been in the gym either.
Oh, really? They're all shut down there too. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of those guys haven't been in the gym, so
that's right.
It's like they're missing the whole experience.
Yeah. When you one of the things I wanted to discuss with you more than anything is Phil coming back. Yeah. And I know you obviously heard the announcement, and I feel like everybody kind of jumped, and everybody kind of said, Phil Heath's number 8. It's coming up, number 8. And I'm like, I wonder how Brandon feels about this. So I wanted to get you on kind of to get your feelings toward, I mean, I know you're probably happy that he's coming back because it's going to give you a chance to solidify you know, who you are, right? So it gives you that opportunity. Right. But was there any part of you that was kind of like, I don't know if upset's the right word, but disappointed that people just assume he's going to get 8? It's kind of like,
Nah. See, I guess I've been in the sport a long time, so I understand marketing. You can't market a 7-time Mr. Olympia and not mention the possibility of getting 8. Yeah. I mean, you got to go with that marketing strategy and that possible, anticipation for him winning that or tying the record. That makes it exciting, right? So that's no disrespect for me there. That just makes sense. So my job is to make you forget about that whole campaign.
And how are you going to do? Are you going to play the Dorian card where you're like kind of hide out and just show up and like be like, hey, I'm still here? Or are you going to play the Brandon Curry card that you played last year, which was like releasing little tidbits every couple of weeks to be like, look, this is what it is. It's coming back. Like, how do you plan on playing the game in the next few months? What do we expect?
Well, you're talking to me. I'll play the game the way the game is being played. But I have another factor is my coach. Mm-hmm. Abdullah is he's on fire right now, and it's like I don't know how much I'll be able to hold him back.
Can you explain that? Can you tell me in detail? Like, give me some detail.
Well,
why is he so fired up?
Well, this is this is something that he's looking forward to. Yeah. As well as I am, but he wears his emotions more on his sleeve and everything than me. Yeah. So he's very passionate. He's on fire. He's hype about this opportunity, and he expresses it in a way that's really, really intense. Yeah. Really intense.
Give me one thing he said to you. Give me one thing. Just give you
when he really wants, but we're gonna kill everybody. We're gonna kill everybody. That
okay.
That kind of thing.
I like that. Yeah.
Or he'll go into some deep details of why Phil can't win. Different things like that, and he's very passionate about it, and I understand it completely. So depending on the excitement, depending on how we go back and forth, will depend on how much we'll be able to release. Because he'll be itching to release this and release that, and I'll be like, oh, not so soon. Maybe this time. Maybe we should wait till this happens, and So I'll be. It's like a yin and yang with us.
Yeah. What can you express any of the things that he said? Because you said that he has a bunch of reasons why you can win.
Mm.
Can you express any of those reasons?
Well, I guess I can. Because I can too. Let's see. I'm gonna be very calculated.
I mean, this is his opinion, not yours. So we're just,
this is his opinion. Let me see. Basically, he doesn't think Phil's made any corrections.
Okay.
That from his previous issues. First of all,
okay.
He doesn't see that. He's not impressed with Phil's current way he's currently looking at the time either. He just doesn't think Phil's in that phase of bodybuilding like he was. That prime, like he's gonna be as responsive anymore. He thinks he's over that hump.
Yeah.
And he questions his motivations for actually doing the contest.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of those things in general. I guess I could sum it up as those things is pretty much why. He knows that he pretty much knows about me and where I am as far as my abilities and where I am in my career.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows he knows how we zone in. And I don't think he thinks Phil is prepared for this, considering such a late notice.
Yeah,
that he's going to enter.
Yeah,
I mean, it's something that we don't know what tells why he waited, but I know he has an interview tonight. I'll listen to his interview tonight with Dan Solomon.
Yeah,
and we'll see where his head is at. But I'm really curious for his motivations. He knows it's not going to be a cakewalk no matter what he says.
Yeah.
And this is something I've been waiting on ever since I met Phil Heath.
Do you think
before I met Phil Heath?
Do you think? I remember you expressed that to me before. Do you think he's taking you lightly? Because obviously he's going to be looking at you first because you're Mr. Olympia, right. And then he's obviously going to see there's Bonac, and somebody said something about Rami looks like he's getting ready. So do you think he's paying attention to anybody but you? And if he is paying attention to you, do you think he's overlooking you at all?
No, I don't think he's overlooking me. I know he's paying attention to me.
Okay.
What he says about that, I don't know what he's going to say about it.
Yeah.
But I know for sure that he's paying attention, and he's not going to overlook me. I mean, he's a very smart bodybuilder. Yeah. So, and he's very competitive. So
I think one of the things you said for sure is that it's going to be harder to come back. It's always harder, I think, as a bodybuilder, especially in your later years. And I know from experience, not that I have Phil's genetics, but any bodybuilder, I think, in their later years will tell you that if you leave and come back, it's going to be a lot harder to bring the same package you had before you left. Mm-hmm. Whereas kind of you've been on your game and you're still knocking them down, right? So I think you have that to your advantage for sure. The other thing your coach said that is interesting, I didn't think of, is maybe it is a different motivation, and there's something about being hungry for that, for the win, and not hungry for other aspects that might come with the win. So that's interesting. I never thought of that, as maybe there's something else bringing him to it that's not going to be enough fire to do the things he has to do.
You're right.
So it's going to be interesting. Is there anybody else? I mean, obviously you're looking at everybody, but is there anybody else you think that could step between you two, or could challenge you more so than last year?
Well, you always got to keep an eye on William. He's one of the more consistent guys. He's going to bring it. If he's allowed to compete, coming to the U.S., him being runner-up, I'm always, making sure I'm keeping an eye on what's going on in his camp, what he's doing. Mm-hmm. How he's looking. I can't put him in the back of my mind. Of course, you got Big Rami, of course. Mm-hmm. If he's going to compete, I don't know. You never know what's going on there. I think it was a week. They said he was going to wait to 2021, and then the next following week, he was talking about he was going to get ready to enter a contest that was coming up to qualify. So you don't know. Yeah. You don't really know what's going on with that. But and then you got Flex Lewis, of course. He's going to Open. So that should be an exciting presence as well, coming in on stage. Not being compared to anybody in the Open as of recent. So that'll be interesting as well. I'm trying to think of anybody else.
You know what? I'm really, I'm actually interested to see, how do you think, a lot of people now are talking about Phil, but before Phil announced, everybody's talking about Flex Lewis. Do you think Flex Lewis will be more of a challenge to you than William? Or like, where do you see Flex? Is Flex kind of on your radar?
I just when I compare Flex and William physique wise, William to me is more of a threat, just because he's just a thicker bodybuilder. He knows he knows what package to bring in at this level. And, he knows exactly what to bring in. Flex is question mark.
Yeah.
We don't really know, what he's going to be able to bring in, what he's going to look like, what he's going to shoot for. Is it going to be more size? Is he going to be able to bring the crisp conditioning? Because we know he's going to be conditioned from the back. That's a given. Yeah. So when you look at Flex, you got to critique him from the front. Will he be hard? Will he be full? Will he have the depth that he needs from the front with the extra size that he may put on? So he's more of a question mark. I can count on William to come in and be a threat. Yeah. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Flex quite yet.
That's a good point. I never even thought of that either, because with the added muscle comes blurred lines, or also if he shoots for trying to be too big on stage, it might hurt his conditioning a little bit. So yeah, there is a lot of like variables that people haven't considered, because I think people just think Flex Lewis is going to be the same Flex Lewis from the 212, but 20 pounds heavier. And that's not always going to be the case.
When you get bigger and you're that height range, it's the same problem that William would run into. If he puts on a little bit too much, he looks a little bit distorted. His symmetry and everything doesn't flow as well. Yeah. And people just don't really look like the look that he brings. Sure. It could be the same way with Flex, and he doesn't really know if he's going to have what kind of impact it's going to have yet. So yeah, if he gets too big, it's going to come with some thickness in the middle. Yeah. Let's just be real. Yeah. And if the extremities don't match that extra thickness in the middle, then it's going to throw off his look.
Yeah, I didn't consider that. That's true. So I want to ask you something about your reign. I feel like there's always been an asterisk, right? Last year, people are like, well, there's an asterisk. These guys didn't compete, blah, blah, blah. Then in your off season, there's an asterisk. Brandon can't fly around because of COVID. Now at this Olympia, let's say Phil shows up, right? And you beat him. Are people going to say, yeah, but Phil was older? And then what if like COVID, like, Bonac can't travel, Rami can't travel, Hadi can't travel? Are people, it's like, there's always like this thing.
Yeah, it's always, you're right. It's always, somebody's going to always have something to say. Yeah. And this is bodybuilding. It's bodybuilding. So somebody's always going to have what if, or if that. It's always going to be this question mark or asterisk. I'm totally prepared to take as many trophies as possible with as many asterisks as possible and still get it.
I guess the check doesn't have an asterisk on it, so it don't fucking matter. That is fucking hilarious. Man, I love how you take shit in stride. I don't think I could do what you do. It's like you're so chill about everything. It's like, I don't know, like a lot of people, it would bother them that there's like always an asterisk or this or that. And it's like when Sean Roden won, right? When Sean Roden beat Phil, there's asterisks. Well, it wasn't really Phil's best, blah, blah, blah. There's always like, it's gotta do something. Like it's gotta
check us out. Yeah. If you're me, you're watching the end of Phil's reign, right? Yeah. You're hearing all the crap everybody's saying about him. Yeah. Hearing all the critiques. Everybody wants him to be beat. Finally, Sean beats him. Then you hear all the crap that they're talking about Sean. Yeah. Yeah. So my question is, what do I expect? Yeah. If I win? Do I expect them to change the tone?
Yeah.
They just talk crap about the first two guys ahead of me here. And now I'm coming in and I win. I don't think I should expect much different. So it's, it's just a pattern of, it seems like a pattern here of human nature, They're gonna find a reason, and those voices will be heard.
Yeah. But what's it gonna take? Is there ever a way what's it gonna take for people to just be like, yeah, that guy, no asterisks, no shit. Like last time. It's like
when Phil hasn't been competing. He's been off the scene a little bit. He got more fans, more people started talking positive about him.
Yeah,
so when I'm finished and done, and everybody will learn to probably maybe appreciate, what has been done after the fact. That's always the case, I think.
The truth, I remember the last time I think somebody won with no asterisks was probably Ronnie. Not saying there wasn't people like that weren't happy.
What year?
The early years, probably 98 to 2001, 2000. Well, right. Even 2001 there was an asterisk because people think Jay should have won that show too.
Right.
There was a couple years where there was no asterisks.
Right, and it's for Phil too, I think.
Yeah, for Phil, he had a couple years too where there was no asterisks too. Yeah, I, that's right. But you know what? You are right about there are always the people that are going to find something to say about the guy who won, because it's funny, and what's interesting is after people retire, people fall in love with them, because I remember when Ronnie was winning, they were like, oh, the gut. And then when Ronnie's finished, they're like, he's the king.
Right.
And then when Jay was winning, Jay was like, oh, he's a fridge. He's square. He doesn't have any personality. There's all these shitty comments. And then he retires, and now it's like
everybody loves him.
Yeah, everybody loves him. And then the same thing happened to Phil. When Phil was winning, he's like, oh, he's cocky, he's arrogant, this, that. And then he takes a break, and everybody's like, oh, we forgot how good Phil really was. It's like, Is that fucking weird?
Yeah. Well, you got to become non-threatening. When you're not a threat, you're appreciated.
But why don't we appreciate what you're doing now? Like, why can't people look at Brandon Curry and go, yeah, you know what? He climbed the ranks, and he's where he is, and whatever other situations might be part of that, or regardless, he's the best right now.
Some do. I hear from them all the time. But the way social media, everything is driven, you want clicks, you want people to, jump on something. The negativity is what they're going to jump on first. They're not going to jump on the positive story. It's just not a lot you can elaborate. It's not as exciting. It's not as sexy, Yeah. So they're going to jump on the negative first. This is the nature of the beast.
Let me ask you this in your head, because, I'm trying to get into your head as much as possible. When you think of the Mr. Olympias that came before you, where do you see yourself now, and where do you want to see yourself when you're done? Do you see yourself going on a run like Phil or like Dorian, or like, do you see yourself, racking up 3, 4, 5? Is that what you want to do? Or are you like, I just want a couple, and then I'm going to walk away and do something else?
I think about that all the time. And in the current state of everything, it's like, man, I think to myself, man, I could really run away with several of these titles.
Yeah.
But then the biggest question is, it's like, okay, will I continue to have that drive to continue to want to win title after title, or will I get bored and want to do something else? Or will I just want to live a regular life again, or
Wait, sorry to interrupt. Why do you think, you said in the current state, I could probably rack up a bunch? Tell me what that means. What state are you talking about?
Well, I mean, just being on top of the bodybuilding world at this point.
Yeah.
I don't see like anyone that's coming up that I just feel is like gonna just
that can take you out,
just threaten a title like right now. Yeah, so I mean, Phil is probably the most exciting thing to come and try to take this title, just because of what he's accomplished.
Sure.
I just don't see beyond that. I don't see far beyond, like, okay, I don't see any moves. That doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah.
But it's not been put in my face quite yet, or in the bodybuilding community's face.
Sure.
Where they're just jumping on the next train that's coming real fast.
Yeah.
Normally you get a in our community, you kind of get a peek of that. You kind of can see, okay, who's coming. who's really going to be ready soon to just really, really challenge things. And that doesn't mean I haven't seen good progress and good things happening, but, it's hard to question the mindset. The physique is one thing, but the mindset it takes to come through the ranks and be a champion and give and take the good and the bad and be able to overcome those things and then come on top and win. It takes a lot, It's not just, it's a process, so to speak.
The second thing you said was you weren't sure how many you want to win if you could win a bunch. So what do you think a limiting factor is? What do you think might, because I can't imagine being Mr. Olympia and being like, I'm okay with 2. Like I'd win 15 if I could. Right. So what might make you lose passion for it? Like,
I don't know. It's just something that I you can't do something forever at the highest level. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go out, in shame, so to speak.
I get it.
Like, I should have been gone a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And I do want to, be able to, my map outside of bodybuilding, I think about that more. Like, okay, what am I going to do after this is done?
Sure.
So when I feel in my heart of hearts that I'm done with the sport, I want to be able to walk away and not feel like I'm just tied to it, just because.
Yeah.
And I just want to have that freedom to do that. So that's why I don't put a particular number. Like I know what's going to happen in the next 5 years.
Yeah. But if you had to guess, like if you had to, like what I guess what I'm trying to say is some people kind of have a plan, right?
Right.
So what I'm saying is I see what your plan is. Like you want to go out on top. That's obviously everybody wants that, right? But do you feel like I could do 2? If I win 2, I'm okay. Do you feel like 3? Is there any number at all you see, or are you just going to wait till your body kind of lets you know?
Yeah, my body's probably more determiner to it. It's going to determine how I feel about still competing. It's
Sure.
how healthy I can still do it.
Yeah.
Just the mental factor.
Yeah.
Will I always be willing to put myself through what it takes to get prepared for a show, to push myself to the highest limit?
Yeah.
I could get cocky and say, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take the next 5 years or whatever it may be.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm a person. I'm more complex in that. Life doesn't revolve around just me and my own goals.
Of course, yeah.
My life revolves around a lot more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be, I'm not one of those people that I've seen a lot of people do this over the years. They set these goals and these hard, solid goals, and then they never accomplish it.
Sure.
They never quite get there. And I don't want to, I wonder how that feels. I mean, how does that really feel to set that kind of goal and not really get there? Like, if I set a goal, it's often because I'm pretty much 100% sure
certain
that I'm going to accomplish that goal.
Sure.
If that goal is in front of me, if I'm talking about it, if I'm making that statement, then in my mind, it's done.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's fully complete, and I've seen it before.
Yeah.
I'm just walking through it.
Yeah.
And I just haven't gotten that thinking behind how many titles it'll be. Right now, I'm just enjoying it, taking in the moment.
Yeah.
The pressure of winning, breaking records and all this kind of stuff, or tying Arnold or whoever it may be.
Yeah.
Are not in my processing right now. I think that those kind of pressures kind of take away.
Why?
Kind of take away, and I think you're putting extra pressure on yourself unintentionally.
Okay.
Unintentionally. Yeah.
Have you heard the saying? I don't know the exact saying, so don't get on me in the comment section if I get it wrong. But have you heard have you heard the saying? It's hard to get up and run at 5 a.m, or what's it saying? It's hard to be motivated when you go to bed in silk underwear. Have you heard that saying?
Never.
I probably fucked it up royally, but whatever. The point is, the point of the saying is it harder to be hungry when you've already won and you're making money and you're doing well and you're comfortable, or, you have a nice home, you have a beautiful family, you're going to your kids' football games, and it's like, maybe it's really nice doing normal lifestyle things like hanging out with your kids, and like, is it harder to get back into Brandon Curry, the bodybuilder zone where you're on fire and you're getting ready for the stage? Is that harder now that you're so successful?
Well, it's not like I've been successful that long.
No, but you've reached, what I'm saying is you've reached the top. So when you've reached the top, is it easier to have the drive to reach the top, or is the drive to repeat that feeling the same? Is it still that fire?
Right now, even as the champion, I still feel that underdog feel.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like I'm accomplished enough, and I've done enough in the sport yet.
Yeah, yeah.
So I still feel like, there's a lot that I need to accomplish. So I still feel like, even though I'm currently at the top, I don't sense that I'm at the top. I'm still chasing big things, in my opinion, in my mind frame. Yeah. So that is what keeps me hungry. As long as that doesn't go away, and I still have that mentality, I think, it'll be easy to compete. It'll be easy to challenge myself in that way and bring it to the stage. I think once that disappears and I kind of lose that underdog mentality, and I maybe get too comfortable in living normal life, which I have to question whether PHILS got comfortable living normal life here recently. I mean, that's I mean, because as a bodybuilder, I listened to Branch on your show the other day.
Yeah.
And you were talking, and who'd you have on? Yeah, Branch and Seth Roshi,
yeah.
And how they retired, and did Branch want to go back and compete? And he's like, no, he didn't really. He's done.
Yeah.
And so I take that psychology. What does that look like? For Branch. He's one of the most hardcore guys. He's bodybuilding, blue collar, work hard, and then he's reached a point where he's like, no, I'm done. I have no desire to go back.
Yeah, but I think you touched on it. I think you gave me the answer I was looking for. A lot of people don't realize that we do this for ourselves. Like, as much as we do it for fans and we love doing it, but it's for something we have inside of us. Mm-hmm. And you still feel like you have something to prove.
Right.
That's it. Because when Branch was on the show, Branch was basically saying, I did everything I got to do, and I'm happy with my career, and I'm happy with what I did. And there's nothing left for me to prove. And I just like training now. Right. And that's, I think, the key to what you were saying and why you're still hungry, is because you still, in your heart, feel like there's more for you to do.
Right. So that's it. So that's what I'm saying. That's why making the prediction on how many, it's like, that's hard. That's just hard to do.
Yeah.
When you're sitting here looking ahead and going, how many? And that's this question that I would have to ask myself every day, and it could change every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I set my mind to something, that could change. I'd be like, oh yeah, I want to win. And then next day I'd be like, oh, I don't know if I want to. You know how it is.
I know how that is. Yeah.
I'm a human being.
Yeah. No, I didn't. Like, I'm trying to come back to the stage now, and I haven't competed in 3 years, and I forgot what normal life was like, because I was just a hardcore bodybuilder for so many years. Mm-hmm. And then the last few years I've been kind of more relaxed, especially this last year. I'm hanging out with the family more, hanging out with friends more, doing more like normal life stuff. Mm-hmm. It really took me a long time to finally hammer down, and like, people are like, why did you take so long away from the stage? It's almost like my brain needed it. Like, I needed to just live a normal life for a little while. Mm-hmm. And now I'm able to kind of reset and go back into it and like refocus. But I feel like it's hard to do both. And that's why you're saying about Phil, how comfortable did he get? And is he enjoying life too much? And if you're enjoying life too much and you haven't got it out of your system, sometimes it interferes with that hardcore mindset that you need to get back to the stage. So like, basically what I'm saying is, if he's forcing it, like, I'm doing it because I'm ready, right? Like, I had a long break and I'm like, you know what? I'm ready. I want to do it. Right.
Right.
If he's like forcing it for any ulterior motive, like we talked about, that I think will make a big impact on how he looks.
It is. I think the dynamic you're talking about, where you kind of pull away and then go back into it, is kind of like the dynamic we explained. So I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm into the normal life thing. I'm seeing the kids. I'm appreciating everything, the fruits of my labor, so to speak. And then I go away, and it's just like total deprivation. Yeah. And I'm just at it again, hardcore, nothing else to think about,
I have a question about that. When you do that, is that like, and I think I might know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Is that like, I love bodybuilding so much, I can't wait to get back to it? Or is it more, you're sitting around with your family and you're seeing the success you've had and what you're able to give your children, and you're like, I got to go back to work? And it's not work like you don't want to do it, but it's like, I got to go back to work because I want to keep giving them this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a combination. It's almost like it's almost formulaic, you know, because when you get there, the psychology that comes at you is it's complex. You know, it's like I'm here, I'm away. I can't come back a sucker. I can't come back a loser.
Yeah.
You know, this is the way I provide. You know, and I come here and I'm home and I'm seeing the fruits of my labor, and it's like, okay, man, my kids are blessed. You know, my family's blessed, and you know, yeah, I need to get back. Yeah, I do think about itching and getting back in that killer instinct mode. You know, it's kind of hard to feel like a killer when you got a 6-year-old wants to give you a hug, and you know, and you're around your family, you know, and you know, you're being diplomatic and you're trying to teach your boys not to treat each other better and stuff like that. It's kind of, but getting out of that zone and going into like, okay, it's just it's a different side of me.
Yeah, that
you know, it's necessary for me. Yeah, but I don't like that side of me in certain contexts. You know what I mean?
Well, I was just going to say, you kind of have to, it's almost like that's a really big bonus for you. You can go away and be Brandon Curry, the killer, instead of being at home, like obviously figuratively, but you know what I'm saying? Like you can go away and be, you know, I'm the assassin. I'm going to go and I'm doing my shit. And I'm in that mindset where there's nothing that can change the way I'm focused. Whereas being home, I agree with you. Like, I don't know how you would go to the gym and then turn it off when you're at home and then turn it back on. So it's a major, major benefit to you that other people don't have. So I guess going away is probably something you look forward to, so you can really like channel it.
Yeah, only because I you know how productive it is. I know my mentality of my coach, you know. Yeah. And I feed off that too. It's just like, you know, it's a crazy chemistry, and it's something it's hard to explain. But when you're around the energy and you're in the midst of it, you're like, okay, this makes perfect sense.
I know you're like more of a chill guy, but when you're there, does he know how to push your buttons to get you like fired up?
Oh yeah. He his energy. I feed off his energy definitely, because he's a very tenacious type of personality. Now I may not express myself in the same way. Yeah. But I'll put it into the work. You know, even if he's annoying me, that's a good thing, because I put it into the work. You know, mad, yeah. So it's like, no matter what, it's like I may not be vocal about it. I may not express myself the same, but I know how to put my energy right into what I'm doing. Yeah. And it's I don't know. I have probably the same Superman complex everybody has. Yeah. And go to my lair. And
yeah. Okay, so just a couple X's and O's questions. When you're home and you're eating right now, are you kind of like on a break, or are you priming yourself for when you go for the work? Like, is your calorie set up for the day? Is it like low, or are you like really trying to build it up so when you get there you're ready to work?
Yeah, I'm really trying to build up on my calories, on my eating, just my ability to just sit down and just put away some food. That's what I got to work my way into, because that's those moments of like solitude when it's like fork to mouth. Yeah. And that's a whole nother mental area. So I'm kind of, you know, you train yourself in the gym. That's nothing to us anymore. But just that mental area of just putting this food down, feeling uncomfortable, getting prepared to do all that is what I'm into right now. Because
sorry, go ahead. I apologize.
Because that's all I don't have time to do.
Yeah.
Sit around and just eat, and then, you know, when I'm not training.
You're not a big eater, are you?
No.
So you're literally like right now trying to just ramp it up slowly, so when you get there, you're prepared. Right. So what is the calorie? Do you have an idea what your calories for the day would look like right now? Like, you in the 5,000 mark, the 3,000 mark?
I don't know exactly. I'm just following.
What's a typical meal look like?
Let's see. Right now, breakfast is like 6. It's 6 egg whites, 4 whole eggs, 100 grams of grits. Okay. And you know, I can have that with oils or butter, which is fine now. Yeah. And then we do. And then right now I'm actually doing 9 ounces of beef. Yeah. Of meat in general.
Yeah.
And 250 to 300 grams of starch.
That's not that bad. It's like,
yeah, for me, it's,
you should be able to get it down easy, right?
yeah, it's not bad, but for me, it's like,
sucks.
It's like I'm not a big eater.
Yeah.
It takes me. I eat slow. Is what it is. I used to eat fast.
Yeah,
I used to eat fast, and then I started having choking issues. You know.
Okay.
So because I wasn't chewing my food well enough.
Yeah.
And I finally broke that habit because I got tired of.
Yeah.
Feeling like I was gonna freaking die.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So I started chewing my food more. So now it seems like everybody eats faster than me.
Yeah.
Everybody. It's like I'm like chewing so much. Everybody's like, oh, everybody's done. I'm like, oh, dude, the guy's still digging his bowl out. So yeah, for me.
So you're at that now, but when you get to Kuwait, he's gonna ramp it up even more. Like
when I get to Kuwait, it's like Okay. It's even more because I don't, it's like, I'm eating. Yeah, it's got a lot of food I'm going to be eating. It's going to feel like a food every day, food in my face.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I even learned to train like right after eating when I was in Kuwait. Like,
really?
With no problem.
Like how soon after?
Like eating and then going to train.
I can't do that, man. There's no way.
Yeah.
Wow. How do you get that? Don't you get bloated and fucking feel sick?
No. I mean, at first it's uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable at first, but then eventually you just adjust. It's weird.
Is that what he wants you to do, or is it just because you're trying to?
Well, it's just that when I'm getting my meals in, it's like they start to run together.
Yeah.
And if and I'm like, okay, I got to eat this real quick. I want to take a nap. I got to eat this real quick.
Yeah.
Get it down before I go train. So sometimes I'll get it down right before I got to go train.
Oh, amazing. So I want to touch on business a little bit because you opened your own gym.
Yeah.
Are you partnered? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it
partnered with
partnership?
Brent.
Right?
Yeah.
So the gym's called Carbon Culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Tennessee.
Yes. Franklin, Tennessee is the first one in Franklin.
And
just expanded that one another 4,000 square feet.
So wait a minute. Let me ask you, is the one in Franklin, are you partners in that one too? Or are you getting your own?
Yeah.
Okay. So how is that? How is that? How is it having your own gym? Is that something you always wanted to do?
It's something that I wanted to do before I got deep in the bodybuilding world. And then I got kind of turned off the more gym owners I met.
Oh, okay.
And so when this was, this ideal came up again, it was like, it was reminiscent of my initial kind of ideas of what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So it kind of sparked that interest again because it was so familiar to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like seeing it again.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I can definitely get into this. And I kind of get into the equipment side of it a little bit more as far as, what I like and what I want to see and how it's laid out.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just been a real cool experience to kind of see people come in and enjoy, something like that you put some effort into and you experiencing the members. That's what's cool. And then having a place to go when things kind of shut down was pretty cool.
What was it like having your own gym for a little while, like by yourself?
Oh man, I was on fire at that point because I thought I had this big advantage. September's coming.
Yeah.
I turned up the intensity.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we're going for this, right? And then of course they push it back. It kind of got let the air out of the cells a little bit.
Yeah.
Slow it down. But yeah, it was cool just being in there, just me and my training partner, nobody else. So it kind of got smooth.
When did you guys open?
So we opened again in May 1st.
No.
May 1st is when we opened out. Before that, we were open 3 weeks before. We opened 3 weeks before that.
So you opened your grand opening would have been like the first week of April.
Well, opening, not grand opening.
Well, opening, sorry, yeah. So opening.
Grand opening is like a celebration.
Yeah.
And then 3 months, so 3 weeks, and then we had to shut down for almost a month, and then we opened back up in May 1st.
What was it like? Oh, so you like really shut down the whole time. You're only shut down for 3 weeks.
Well, about a month.
About a month. That's not bad though. Like the gym, like there's a gym owner here that I talk to all the time, and he was shut down for 5 months.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, I got to pay this bill every month, and I got no money coming in for 5 months. I'm like, that's crazy, man.
I think we were probably prepared for 3.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If so 5, that's rough.
Was it kind of deflating starting a business and then having COVID hit?
I was distracted.
By what?
I was distracted with, okay, this is happening. At least I have a place to train. I was looking at all the positives, and I prepared for the Olympia.
Yeah.
So that was more of what I was thinking about at the time. It was more like, okay, I was distracted. Let me focus on something I can control, and that was getting ready for the show. So as far as what this COVID thing was going to do to us, I was just trying to stay positive as possible. We had, of course, we had members that wanted to continue to support the business as much as they could, and of course that's helped. But I was kind of distracted. The thing was, it was just a brief, time of distraction and worry, because about time May opened, we opened in May 1st, we like doubled our memberships that next week.
Oh, okay.
Because we were able to, the way our facility was designed, we were able to open up and adjust to all the different new protocols and stuff a lot quicker than some of the surrounding businesses were, competition, so to speak. So it drove, and then it did help that Nashville was shut down a little bit longer than us as well. So a lot of the people that was coming from Nashville to train in Franklin, because their gyms were still closed, so it kind of helped us a lot.
You got guys, you have to wear a mask at your gym?
No, you don't have to wear a mask.
Okay. Is anybody in Tennessee wearing masks, or just in Franklin you're not, or what is that?
Yeah, I mean, you see people around here with masks. You got to have a mask on when you go into a restaurant.
Yeah.
At least when you enter.
How's that? Does that make any sense to you?
No, we went to breakfast today, and it's like the weirdest thing. It's like, okay, COVID's gonna get you when you're in a restaurant, so put on your mask. When you sit down at the table, you can take it off because you're safe from COVID. But before you leave, put that mask on when you're gonna hit that threshold, that door, because
COVID's only at the door. It's not at the table.
He loves the door, man. Loves that threshold.
Dude, I don't understand.
Put that mask on.
Isn't it crazy? Because I'm walking through Costco the other day, and like I said, my buddy's gym is closed for 5 months, and he doesn't have a massive gym. I think he's only got like 1,000 members, but when you're in there's only like 20 or 30 people at a time, right? It's just very like scarce, the amount of people that come in at once. I'm walking through Costco, and there's like 300 people in there shopping, and everyone's bumping elbows and shit. And I'm like, how come it's okay for Costco to be open, but my buddy's gym can't have 20 people in there working? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's such a strange, it's such a strange thing, right?
It's a strange time, because it kind of, we're taught common sense. Yeah. And some of us was taught critical thinking growing up. Some of us. Yeah. And it just defies common sense, and it defies critical thinking. Yeah. Some of these things. And unfortunately, some people take these things way more seriously than others.
Oh man, you're telling me.
Yeah, oh man, I've witnessed it at the hotel we were at. There was an employee that was so strict on the mask rule that I could tell when she wasn't working. Like, I know when she had her day off, because it was just totally different.
Oh, you mean nobody in the place was wearing their mask? Yeah.
Well, it's just like, you didn't have the constant reminder. It wasn't the pressure of always having your mask on. Other employees were kind of lax when she wasn't around, because when she's around, she's a mask tyrant.
Yeah.
Everybody, no matter what. I mean, I think my son came to the door without a mask, and I was like, wasn't it like 12 and under? You have okay. Mask is optional. She's like, no, it's only if you're 2 and under. And I'm thinking. So, okay, 2 and under.
Yeah.
So, I was just like, okay.
Yeah, some people get carried away.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, and I'm not going to keep you, because, we've been on for an hour, and you're Mr. Olympia, and you probably got a lot of stuff to do. But
gotta eat.
Yeah, that's right. So I want to ask you, is there any recent photos that you're going to post, or we're going to see anything of Brandon Curry, or are we going to have to wait? How long are we going to have to wait till we see what the current Brandon Curry looks like?
Well, you're going to have to wait on me. Apparently you may not have to wait on my coach. He's always
he's going to post something. Yeah.
He releases things, unbeknownst to me, and I find out from other people. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. So, for as far as I'm concerned, you may have to wait, for, some more, as we get into the meat of things a little bit more, as, we start to get into that grind a little bit more, you start, you start
feeling like you want to let people see some shit.
It's for the fans, but it's not always for the fans.
Well, what else is it for then?
It's the psychology of the matter, I think.
Playing little games here and there.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So the fans get to be a part of that, those things, and you just kind of let them in, get an inside look of what's going on. But those things are impacting
the others. Yeah. So let me ask the last question before you go. Are we going to see, because I asked you this the last time you were on, and it was the last question I asked you before you left the last time. Are we going to see Mr. Olympia Brandon Curry again?
Oh,
are you going to? Last time you were on,
am I going to be 220 champion? Is what you're trying to say?
Yeah, because the last time I asked you, I said, "Are you going to win?" And you looked at me and you're like, "I'm going to win the show." And then you fucking won the show. So I'm asking you again.
Well, I'm going to say that again. I'm going to win the show.
Are you going to win the show? All right.
Yeah, I'm going to win the show
for sure. There's no doubt.
For sure, no doubt. Hey, you know what? You do this to people. You shouldn't do this to people, though, because
why?
I'm just saying, because I saw you do this to some other competitors getting ready for the Tampa. And yes, both top guys.
Of course.
And what are they going to say?
Well, you know what? Ian was very honest in his opinion.
Yeah.
He said, I think I can win. He said, it's going to be he's like, what I expect is just an honest, everybody wants to win, but I expect an honest, right. I guess I just expect an honest answer. So Ian gave me one. He was like, Hunter's really good. Hunter's coming on strong. Hunter's going to be a fan favorite, but I'm going to do my best to win. And I think I can win. And it's going to be Hunter's job to beat me or my job to lose, which I felt like it was a really honest way to say it. And then I asked Hunter the same question. And Hunter said, I just like to know people's mindset, right? Like Hunter was like, I've known I was going to win for 26 weeks. And I asked him again, I said, is that like some fluffy shit that you're just like saying to yourself? He's like, no. He's like, this isn't motivation. This isn't like I've known for 26 weeks. So it's not that I'm trying to get people to like put themselves in a bad place or trying to cause drama. I like to get look, when I was competing, I knew if you said to me, Brandon, hey Fouad, where are you going to place at the Arnold's? I could be like, well, and this isn't going to apply to you because you're the best right now. But at the time, I would have been like, well, I probably can't beat Brandon. I probably can't beat Bonac. This. I'm trying to shoot for 4th or 5th. Right? So you get like a real feeling of like where the person's mental state is. Mm-hmm. It might not be a fair question to you because obviously you're not going to say anything, but
I'll put it this way. I always look at how things are lining up and the way the recent events have lined up so far. It's given me a very good feeling about this season as far as competition is concerned. We got Phil Heath coming back to the stage. I mean, come on. A week or two ago, I didn't know that was going to happen. So that these things are lining up very well, and I feel like it's in my favor for this season, and I'm continuing to look for those things, continue to look for those confirmations as we go along. So as of right now, you got a very confident guy going into the show, and I'll continue to move and continue to see what are being shown as I move ahead, and hopefully we build on that.
Okay, I gotta say one thing, and then I'm gonna ask you a question. I want your honest opinion. So I like your answer because this is why. Of course, you're gonna say you're gonna win, but the way you say it tells me that you're not stressed in any way that he's coming back. You're actually excited because it gives you a chance to show your dominance. But that's important for the people out there to know, right? Because that's what they want. And I'm saying as a fan, I want to know what's that guy thinking, right? So that's why I asked that question.
We got to question the Olympia. I questioned the Olympia, how the Olympia was going to take place, and what we're going to do this year. And then you get thrown this great great curveball here, and you go, wow, okay, this is what everybody's looking for. This is what everybody wants.
Yeah.
This is like. Yeah, so it's one of the things that, okay, if you're looking for motivation, well, here it is.
Yeah.
Here it is, right here.
All right.
If you want something, if you want to build a fire,
there
you go.
Yeah. All right. So last question, and this is a critique I want from you. Do you think I shouldn't ask competitors those questions?
Nah, it's great fun, but I think you should tell them to elaborate.
Yeah, maybe you're
so,
right.
Yeah, so you can actually get the mindset part, because it's the easiest answer is just, oh, of course.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I'm looking for, is the mindset as to why, and it's probably how I should ask it. So okay.
Yeah, it's a bit more like, what's your winning mentality at this point? Like,
yeah, what's your reason? Yeah,
right.
Okay, I'll take it into advisement from Mr.O. We'll change the show.
Yeah, because I mean, you kind of throw them under the bus. They go,
no.
check yes or check no.
I'm not throwing them. I'm not throwing them under the bus.
If they check no, it's like, okay.
There's no There's no winning.
Please explain.
Yeah, there isn't really a right answer, I guess.
No.
But you got to ask. It's such a.
Yeah, you got it. You're doing it for the fans, of course.
I gotta ask it. You're right, though. I gotta rephrase it a bit next time. All right. Well, thanks for the advice.
No problem, bro. No problem.
All right, Brandon. I'm gonna wrap it up, man. Listen, thank you very much for taking the time, man. I appreciate it. And
yes,
hopefully, I can get you on again when we get closer to the Olympia, and we can get like some fire. We'll see what kind of fire you got going at that point.
Yeah, I'll just bring the firecracker with me.
Bring them. We'll do that. Why don't we do that? We'll bring. Yeah. We'll
do it together.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And then he can say talk all the shit for you.
Oh yeah. He's great at doing that. He's great at doing that.
All right, man. I'll let you go eat, dude. Listen, thank you very much. I appreciate the time, and we'll do it again.
All right, bro.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
See you guys.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hostile and myself. And lastly, check out hostile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.